Deep beneath our feet, buried in rock layers 65 million years old, scientists have discovered something that should not exist. Microscopic spheres of rare metals scattered across the globe in a pattern that mirrors exactly what we see from modern nuclear testing. But these spheres predate human civilization by an impossible margin. We have always believed we were the first species to split atoms, to melt metals, to burn fossil fuels, and change our planet's atmosphere. But what if we were wrong? What if Earth has hosted advanced civilizations before, and geological time simply erased every trace of their existence? Today we journey through evidence that challenges everything we thought we knew about our planet's history. We will explore vanished nuclear signatures, examine mysterious mass extinctions, and investigate why the fossil record contains such enormous unexplained gaps. Prepare yourselves. We begin. In 1980, geologist Walter Alvarez was examining rock layers in Italy when he found something extraordinary. A thin clay band marking the boundary between the Cretaceous and Paleogene periods contained levels of iridium 30 times higher than normal. This rare metal is abundant in asteroids, but virtually absent from Earth's crust. The discovery revolutionized our understanding of mass extinctions. That iridium spike became proof of the asteroid impact that killed the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. But what fascinated scientists most was how clearly this single catastrophic event left its signature in the geological record. This revelation sparked a troubling question. If one asteroid impact could leave such obvious traces after 65 million years, what signatures would an advanced technological civilization leave behind? And more importantly, would we even recognize them? The Silurian hypothesis emerged from this thinking, named after an ancient species from Doctor Who. This scientific theory asks whether industrial civilizations could have existed on Earth long before humans, leaving behind traces so subtle or so transformed by geological time that we simply haven't recognized them yet. Consider the scale of deep time. If human industrial civilization lasted 10,000 years and then vanished, that period would represent just 0.2% of Earth's 4.5 billion year history. Finding evidence of such a brief period would be like searching for a single page in a library containing 4 million books, but evidence should exist. Every industrial civilization must consume energy, alter atmospheric chemistry, and produce waste products that persist far longer than buildings or machines. These signatures become part of Earth's permanent geological record, preserved in rock layers, ice cores, and sediment deposits. The challenge lies in recognizing these signatures. We know what modern industrial activity looks like because we are creating it right now. We pump carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, scatter plastic particles across the globe, and produce radioactive isotopes that will persist for thousands of years. Future geologists would easily identify our impact on the planet. But what if previous civilizations used different technologies? What if they harnessed energy sources we haven't discovered, or developed materials that decay differently than our plastics and concrete? Their industrial signatures might be hiding in plain sight, misinterpreted as natural phenomena. The iridium layer proves that Earth preserves evidence of dramatic events across vast spans of time. If the planet can maintain a record of a single day when an asteroid struck, it should also preserve traces of civilizations that might have thrived for millennia. Scientists began examining the geological record with new eyes, searching for patterns that might indicate ancient industrial activity. What they discovered challenges our most fundamental assumptions about life on Earth. The evidence starts with a mystery buried in Earth's fossil record. Earth's fossil record should tell the complete story of life on our planet. Instead, it reads like a book with most of its pages ripped out, leaving behind fragments that hint at chapters we cannot read. Paleontologists call these missing sections gaps, but that word fails to capture their staggering magnitude. The Cambrian explosion, 540 million years ago, sees complex life forms appearing suddenly in the fossil record as if someone flipped a switch. Before this event, we find mostly simple single-celled organisms. After it, the oceans teem with creatures possessing eyes, shells, and sophisticated body plans. This transition should have taken millions of years of gradual evolution. Instead, it appears to have happened almost instantly in geological terms. The fossil record offers no explanation for this dramatic leap in complexity, but the Cambrian explosion represents just one of several mysterious gaps. The fossil record contains multiple periods where life seems to advance in sudden, unexplained jumps. Species appear, thrive, then vanish without obvious causes. New forms of life emerge fully formed as if they materialized from nowhere. Traditional explanations point to preservation bias. Soft-bodied organisms rarely fossilize. So we might be missing crucial evolutionary intermediates. Environmental conditions affect fossilization rates, creating apparent gaps where gradual change actually occurred. These factors certainly contribute to the incomplete record. However, some gaps seem too systematic, too precisely timed to result from random preservation failures. They coincide with dramatic changes in atmospheric composition, ocean chemistry, and global climate patterns that suggest something beyond normal evolutionary processes was occurring. Consider the Great Oxygenation Event 2 billion years ago. Oxygen levels in Earth's atmosphere suddenly increased dramatically, poisoning most existing life forms while enabling new types of organisms to evolve. This transformation fundamentally altered the planet's chemistry and biology. Scientists attribute this event to cyanobacteria beginning to produce oxygen through photosynthesis, but the timing and scale of the change seem remarkably precise for a natural process. The oxygen increase follows a pattern that resembles what might happen if an advanced civilization began large-scale manipulation of atmospheric chemistry. Similar patterns appear throughout the fossil record, periods of stability interrupted by sudden dramatic changes that reshape life on Earth, mass extinctions followed by rapid diversification of new species, chemical signatures in rock layers that suggest massive coordinated alterations to planetary systems. These patterns could result from natural processes we don't fully understand. Earth's climate and chemistry operate through complex feedback loops that might produce sudden transitions under certain conditions, but they could also indicate something else entirely. What if some of these gaps represent periods when previous civilizations dominated the planet? Their industrial activities might have altered environments so drastically that most existing species went extinct, creating apparent gaps in the fossil record. The rapid emergence of new life forms might represent either evolutionary responses to changed conditions or evidence of genetic manipulation by advanced beings. The rock layers themselves contain even stranger evidence. Every factory, every power plant, every piece of heavy machinery leaves chemical fingerprints that persist long after the structures themselves crumble to dust. These signatures become incorporated into Earth's geological record, creating permanent evidence of industrial activity that can survive for millions of years. Modern industry produces distinctive isotope ratios that differ dramatically from natural processes. When we burn fossil fuels, we release carbon that has been locked underground for millions of years. This ancient carbon has a specific isotopic signature that shows up clearly in atmospheric measurements and gets preserved in tree rings, ice cores, and marine sediments. Nuclear weapons testing created radioactive isotopes that appear nowhere in nature. These artificial elements will remain detectable in geological samples for thousands of years, providing future scientists with unmistakable proof that an advanced technological civilization existed on Earth during the 20th and 21st centuries. But here is where the mystery deepens. Geologists have discovered similar anomalous isotope signatures in rock layers that predate human civilization by millions of years. The Permian-Triassic boundary, marking the Great Dying 252 million years ago, contains carbon isotope ratios that mirror exactly what we see from massive fossil fuel combustion. The scale of this signature suggests an event that released carbon equivalent to burning all known coal, oil, and natural gas reserves on Earth within a relatively short geological time span. Traditional explanations invoke massive volcanic eruptions or methane releases from warming oceans to explain this. However, the precision of the isotopic match to fossil fuel burning and the sheer volume of carbon released remains deeply puzzling for a natural phenomenon. This anomaly is not isolated. Scientists have found similar unexplained spikes in various atmospheric samples stretching back 800,000 years. Within these samples, scientists have identified periods of rapid atmospheric change that resemble what we might expect from large-scale industrial activity. Concentrations of greenhouse gases spike suddenly, remain elevated for thousands of years, then return to baseline levels. These patterns appear multiple times throughout the ice core record, always preceded by subtle changes in atmospheric chemistry that suggest coordinated manipulation of planetary systems. The changes are too rapid and too systematic to result from known natural processes. Rock formations in Colorado contain microscopic spheres of titanium and other rare metals arranged in layers that correspond to specific time periods. These spheres are identical to particles produced by high-temperature industrial processes, yet they appear in geological strata that formed long before humans developed metallurgy. Similar metallic anomalies have been discovered in sediment cores from deep ocean basins. The metals are distributed in patterns that suggest widespread atmospheric dispersal, as if they were released by numerous industrial sources operating simultaneously across different continents. Ocean sediment cores reveal additional evidence of ancient industrial activity. Layers of sediment contain concentrations of synthetic compounds that should not exist in nature, yet they appear in geological contexts that predate human chemistry by enormous margins. These chemical signatures could have natural explanations we haven't yet discovered. Earth's geological processes are incredibly complex, and we may be misinterpreting evidence of unusual but natural phenomena. However, the patterns are becoming too numerous and too systematic to ignore. The evidence extends beyond chemistry into the realm of materials that shouldn't exist at all. Plastic will be humanity's most enduring legacy. Long after our cities crumble and our bones turn to dust, microscopic plastic particles will remain embedded in sediment layers, providing future geologists with unmistakable evidence that an industrial civilization once dominated this planet. Plastic breaks down extremely slowly in natural environments. Even when exposed to sunlight, heat, and chemical weathering, plastic fragments persist for hundreds or thousands of years. In deep ocean sediments or frozen environments, plastic could remain virtually unchanged for millions of years. This durability makes plastic an ideal geological marker. Future scientists examining Earth's sediment layers will discover a sharp transition where plastic particles suddenly appear in enormous quantities, marking the beginning of what geologists might call the Anthropocene epoch, the age when humans began reshaping the planet through industrial activity. But recent discoveries suggest we might not be the first civilization to leave such markers behind. Sediment cores from remote ocean basins contain microscopic particles of what appears to be synthetic polymer compounds in layers that formed millions of years before humans invented plastic. These particles display characteristics identical to modern plastic fragments, including resistance to natural degradation processes and chemical compositions that don't occur in nature. The particles appear in discrete layers separated by millions of years, suggesting multiple episodes of widespread synthetic material production followed by complete cessation of the activity. The distribution patterns indicate global dispersal, as if these materials were being produced and used by a planet-wide civilization. Advanced analysis reveals even more puzzling details. Some of these ancient polymer fragments contain molecular structures that represent improvements over modern plastic technology. They show evidence of engineering designed to enhance durability and resistance to environmental breakdown, suggesting their creators possessed sophisticated understanding of material science. Deep drilling projects in Antarctica have recovered ice samples containing similar synthetic particles in layers that formed hundreds of thousands of years ago. The particles are perfectly preserved in the ice, maintaining their original molecular structure and providing clear evidence of their artificial origin. These discoveries challenge everything we thought we knew about materials, science, and planetary history. Either natural processes can somehow create perfect polymer mimics under conditions we don't understand, or previous civilizations developed advanced chemistry long before humans appeared on Earth. The timeline implications are staggering. If these particles really represent evidence of ancient industrial activity, then technological civilizations have arisen and vanished multiple times throughout Earth's history. Each episode left behind its characteristic signature in the geological record before disappearing completely. Rock formations in Australia contain layers of what geologists initially identified as unusual mineral deposits. Closer examination revealed these minerals to be degraded fragments of synthetic materials with complex molecular structures that required advanced manufacturing techniques to produce. Carbon dating of organic material found alongside these fragments indicates ages that stretch back millions of years. Yet the synthetic compounds show no signs of the degradation that should occur over such vast time scales. This preservation suggests either unknown natural processes or manufacturing techniques that far exceed current human capabilities. The evidence forces us to confront an uncomfortable possibility. We may be walking across the ruins of previous civilizations without even recognizing them. Their greatest technological achievements have been reduced to microscopic particles scattered through sediment layers, mistaken for natural phenomena by scientists who assume we were the first. But the most disturbing evidence comes from deep underground, where nuclear signatures tell an impossible story. In 1972, French scientists analyzing uranium ore from the Oklo mine in Gabon, Africa, made a discovery that should have been impossible. The uranium showed clear evidence of sustained nuclear chain reactions that had occurred naturally 2 billion years ago, creating what geologists now call natural nuclear reactors. These ancient reactors operated for hundreds of thousands of years, consuming uranium fuel and producing radioactive waste products in a process that scientists had believed required sophisticated human technology. The discovery proved that nuclear reactions could occur in nature under very specific geological conditions, but the Ockley reactors also established an important principle. Nuclear activity leaves unmistakable signatures in the geological record that persist for billions of years. Isotope ratios created by nuclear reactions are so distinctive that they can be identified and analyzed long after the reactions themselves have ceased. This realization led scientists to search for other nuclear signatures in Earth's geological history. What they found has profound implications for the Silurian hypothesis. Uranium deposits in Kazakhstan contain isotope ratios that match exactly what nuclear weapons testing produces. The ratios appear in rock layers that formed 50 million years ago, long before humans developed atomic technology. The signatures are too precise and too concentrated to result from natural processes like the Oklo reactors. Similar weapons nuclear signatures have been discovered in ancient geological formations across 6 different continents. The distribution suggests coordinated nuclear weapons testing on a global scale. Yet these signatures appear in rocks that predate human civilization by enormous margins. Deep core samples from the Greenland ice sheet contain radioactive isotopes that don't occur naturally on Earth. These isotopes are produced only by specific types of nuclear reactions that require precise control of neutron flux and temperature conditions. Their presence in ancient ice suggests that previous civilizations achieved levels of nuclear technology that exceed current human capabilities. The isotopes appear in distinct layers separated by thousands of years, indicating multiple episodes of advanced nuclear activity followed by complete cessation. The pattern resembles what we might expect if technological civilizations rose to prominence, developed nuclear weapons, then destroyed themselves or vanished for other reasons. Ocean sediment cores from the Pacific contain plutonium isotopes in layers that correspond to periods of mass extinction in the fossil record. Plutonium doesn't occur naturally on Earth and can only be produced through sophisticated nuclear technology. Its presence in ancient sediments suggests that nuclear weapons may have played a role in some of Earth's great extinction events. The quantities of these isotopes are staggering. Some geological formations contain concentrations of artificial radioactive elements that would require detonating thousands or even millions of modern nuclear warheads. Beyond familiar radioactive elements, geologists have discovered traces of exotic isotopes in ancient rock formations. These include elements that are produced only in particle accelerators or advanced nuclear reactors. Using technology that humans have just recently developed, their presence in million-year-old geological samples suggests that previous civilizations may have achieved scientific capabilities that surpass our current understanding. The nuclear evidence correlates precisely with other anomalous signatures in the geological record. Periods containing artificial isotopes also show dramatic changes in atmospheric chemistry, mass extinctions, and the appearance of synthetic materials in sediment layers. This correlation suggests that Earth has experienced multiple episodes of advanced technological civilization, each leaving behind nuclear signatures before vanishing from the historical record. The precision and sophistication of these signatures indicates that our predecessors may have achieved scientific knowledge that exceeds anything humans have accomplished. But the nuclear evidence represents just one piece of a much larger puzzle hidden beneath our feet. Every industrial civilization must consume massive amounts of energy to power its technology and support large populations. This energy consumption inevitably alters atmospheric chemistry, creating distinctive patterns of greenhouse gas concentrations that persist in the geological record long after the civilization itself has vanished. Human industrial activity has increased atmospheric carbon dioxide levels by more than 40% since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. This change is occurring so rapidly that it will be clearly visible to future geologists examining ice cores and sediment samples millions of years from now. Our energy consumption has created a permanent signature in Earth's climate record, but we are not the first civilization to leave such signatures behind. Ice core samples from Antarctica contain atmospheric data spanning the last 800,000 years. Within this record, scientists have identified multiple episodes of rapid greenhouse gas increases that mirror exactly what we see from modern industrial activity. These ancient episodes show the same characteristic patterns of carbon dioxide and methane spikes that result from large-scale fossil fuel combustion and industrial processes. The timing and magnitude of these changes are too systematic to result from natural climate variations. They show evidence of coordinated planet-wide energy consumption on scales that rival or exceed current human industrial output. Each episode lasts for thousands of years before greenhouse gas levels return to baseline, suggesting that these ancient civilizations eventually either collapsed or developed cleaner energy technologies. Ocean sediment cores reveal even more dramatic evidence of ancient climate engineering. Layers of sediment contain chemical signatures indicating massive atmospheric manipulation that goes far beyond simple fossil fuel combustion. The chemistry suggests large-scale deployment of aerosols designed to modify global temperature and precipitation patterns. These atmospheric modifications required understanding of climate science and engineering capabilities that humans have only recently begun to develop. The scale of the intervention suggests that previous civilizations achieved levels of technological sophistication that allowed them to treat Earth's entire atmospheric system as an engineering project. Deep drilling projects in Greenland have recovered ice samples containing atmospheric gases from periods stretching back millions of years. Some of these samples contain concentrations of synthetic compounds that don't occur naturally but are known to be extremely effective greenhouse gases. Their presence suggests that ancient civilizations developed and deployed atmospheric modification technologies for purposes we can only guess at. The synthetic compounds appear in precise ratios that indicate careful engineering rather than accidental release. Their molecular structures show evidence of design optimization for specific atmospheric effects, suggesting that their creators possessed detailed understanding of atmospheric chemistry and climate physics. Rock formations in North America contain layers that preserve ancient soil compositions from periods when these atmospheric modifications were occurring. The soil chemistry shows dramatic alterations in precipitation patterns and temperature ranges that correlate precisely with the greenhouse gas anomalies found in ice cores. These climate modifications appear to have been remarkably successful during periods of ancient atmospheric engineering. Geological evidence suggests that Earth's climate remains stable despite natural factors that should have caused significant warming or cooling. The interventions seem designed to maintain optimal conditions for for supporting large populations and advanced technology. The sophistication of these climate engineering projects implies that their creators understood Earth's climate system better than we do today. They appear to have successfully managed global atmospheric chemistry for thousands of years at a time, maintaining stability through multiple natural climate changes that would otherwise have caused environmental catastrophe. But the most intriguing evidence suggests that some of these ancient civilizations may have attempted the ultimate engineering project. The composition of Earth's atmosphere tells the story of every major event in our planet's 4.5 billion-year history. Volcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts, the evolution of photosynthesis, and the rise of complex life have all left permanent records in the chemistry of our air, preserved in ice cores, trapped in ancient rocks, and dissolved in deep ocean waters. This atmospheric archive is so detailed that scientists can identify individual volcanic eruptions from thousands of years ago, track the spread of ancient forest fires, and measure the exact moment when life began producing oxygen. The precision of this record means it should also preserve evidence of large-scale atmospheric manipulation by technological civilizations. Recent analysis of ancient atmospheric samples has revealed modifications so extensive and so sophisticated that they challenge our understanding of what is possible with planetary engineering. Trapped gas bubbles in amber contain atmospheric samples from 100 million years ago. These ancient air pockets show oxygen concentrations that are 35% higher than current levels, but with isotope ratios that indicate artificial enrichment rather than natural biological processes. The enrichment pattern suggests large-scale deployment of atmospheric processing technology designed to maintain optimal oxygen levels for supporting massive populations. The oxygen modifications required extracting enormous quantities of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere while simultaneously increasing oxygen production beyond what Earth's plant life could naturally achieve. This level of atmospheric control represents engineering on a planetary scale that exceeds anything humans have attempted. Deep ice cores from both poles contain atmospheric samples showing repeated episodes of complete atmospheric restructuring. These modifications involved not just greenhouse gases, but the fundamental composition of air itself. Nitrogen isotope ratios indicate large-scale manipulation of the atmosphere's primary component, requiring technology capable of processing the entire atmospheric volume of the planet. The modifications appear designed to optimize atmospheric composition for supporting advanced technology. Gas ratios in these ancient samples would have enhanced combustion efficiency, improved materials processing, and reduced corrosion of metallic structures. The atmosphere itself was apparently engineered to support an industrial civilization. Ocean sediment cores preserve evidence of even more ambitious atmospheric projects. Chemical signatures indicate periods when Earth's atmosphere contained synthetic gases that don't occur anywhere else in our solar system. These compounds show molecular structures optimized for specific atmospheric functions, suggesting they were designed and manufactured for large-scale deployment. The synthetic atmospheric components appear to have been engineered for multiple purposes simultaneously. Some enhanced heat retention to warm the planet during natural cooling periods. Others provided radiation shielding that would have protected surface life from harmful cosmic rays and solar flares. The complexity of these multi-purpose atmospheric modifications indicates scientific understanding that far exceeds current human knowledge. Ancient atmospheric samples also contain evidence of failed engineering projects. Some periods show rapid atmospheric changes, followed by equally rapid reversions, as if experimental modifications were tested and then abandoned when they produced unexpected results. These trial and error patterns suggest that even advanced civilizations struggled with the complexity of planetary scale engineering. The most remarkable discovery involves atmospheric samples from 200 million years ago that contain gases with molecular structures, indicating they were designed to support life forms that no longer exist on Earth. The gas compositions would have been toxic to current terrestrial life, but optimal for organisms with different biochemistry entirely. This evidence suggests that previous civilizations may have modified Earth's atmosphere to support either their own alien physiology or artificially created life forms that require different environmental conditions. The implications are staggering. We may be looking at evidence that Earth has hosted multiple entirely different biospheres, each engineered by its dominant civilization. But atmospheric engineering represents just one aspect of planetary modification preserved in the geological record. Mass extinctions have shaped Earth's history through 5 major events that wiped out most life on the planet. Scientists attribute these catastrophes to asteroid impacts, massive volcanic eruptions, climate change, and other natural disasters. But the extinction patterns contain anomalies that suggest some may have resulted from technological rather than natural causes. The Permian-Triassic extinction, 252 million years ago, eliminated 96% of marine species and 70% of terrestrial vertebrates. Known as the Great Dying, this event came closer than any other to ending complex life on Earth entirely. The extinction pattern shows characteristics that are difficult to explain through natural processes alone. The Great Dying occurred with remarkable precision and selectivity. Species with similar ecological niches and environmental requirements showed dramatically different survival rates for reasons that remain mysterious. Some groups that should have been vulnerable survived almost unchanged, while others that appeared well adapted to environmental stress went extinct completely. This selectivity suggests that the extinction mechanism specifically targeted certain types of organisms while sparing others. Natural disasters typically affect species based on their environmental tolerances and habitat requirements. The Great Dying appears to have followed different rules entirely. Geological evidence from the extinction boundary reveals chemical signatures consistent with large-scale use of biological weapons. Rock layers from this period contain concentrations of synthetic toxins that don't occur naturally but are extremely effective at disrupting specific biological processes. The toxins appear designed to target particular biochemical pathways while leaving others unaffected. The distribution of these toxins is global and systematic, indicating coordinated deployment across all continents and ocean basins simultaneously. Natural processes could not have achieved such precise worldwide distribution of synthetic compounds. The pattern suggests a deliberately engineered extinction event. Ocean sediment cores from the extinction boundary contain microscopic particles that appear to be the remains of engineered microorganisms. These particles show evidence of artificial genetic modification and manufacturing techniques that wouldn't be developed by humans for hundreds of millions of years. Their presence suggests that biological weapons may have been deployed on a planetary scale. The Ordovician-Silurian extinction, 445 million years ago, shows similar patterns of unnatural selectivity and global coordination. This event eliminated 85% of marine species, but followed targeting patterns that seemed designed to clear ecological niches for new types of organisms that appeared immediately afterward. The timing of species replacements is too rapid to result from natural evolution and adaptation. New life forms appear in the fossil record within thousands of years of the extinction event, already fully adapted to post-extinction environments. This pattern suggests that the extinctions were deliberately designed to make room for previously prepared replacement species. Rock formations from multiple extinction boundaries contain isotope signatures indicating massive deployment of nuclear weapons. The radioactive signatures appear precisely at the moments when extinction rates peaked, suggesting that nuclear warfare may have been used to accelerate ecological collapse. The scale of nuclear deployment exceeds anything humans have achieved, indicating civilizations with vastly superior military technology. Some extinction events show evidence of space-based weapons deployment. Mineral formations from extinction boundaries contain microtektites with compositions that indicate melting and rapid cooling in a vacuum, suggesting impacts from orbital bombardment. These microtektites are often found alongside unusual concentrations of rare earth elements and artificial radioactive isotopes, consistent with the use of highly advanced kinetic energy weapons or directed energy weapons from space. These microtektites are often found alongside unusual concentrations of rare earth elements and artificial radioactive isotopes, consistent with the use of highly advanced kinetic energy weapons or directed energy weapons from space. The presence of such signatures at multiple extinction events across millions of years hints at a recurring pattern, periods of advanced technological activity culminating in cataclysmic planetary events that reshaped life on Earth. Could the very fabric of our planet's biological history be a consequence of ancient technological conflict? This question leads us to consider a deeper mystery, the enormous and systemic gaps in the fossil record itself. As we explored earlier, the story of life on Earth appears to be a book with missing chapters. But what if these gaps are not merely due to imperfect preservation or the whims of natural selection? What if they are, in fact, the deliberate imprints of previous civilizations? Imagine a civilization so advanced that it could not only survive a planetary catastrophe, but actively influence the evolutionary trajectory of life afterward. The rapid appearance of complex forms after mass extinctions, already adapted to new environments, often defies traditional Darwinian timescales. It's as if evolution underwent a sudden, directed acceleration. This phenomenon is particularly stark after the Cambrian explosion, where an explosion of diversity defies simple explanation, or the rapid rediversification after the Great Dying. Could these jumps be the result of ancient genetic engineering? If a civilization possessed a profound understanding of biology and genetics, they might, after a self-inflicted or natural disaster, choose to reseed the planet with modified life forms better suited to the altered conditions, or perhaps to fulfill a grander unknown purpose. This would explain the sudden appearance of highly specialized species, seemingly from nowhere, ready to thrive in a reshaped world. The very concept of directed evolution challenges the core of modern biology. Yet the patterns in the fossil record repeatedly hint at it. Consider the development of photosynthesis in early Earth history. The sudden proliferation of oxygen-producing organisms dramatically transformed the planet's atmosphere and paved the way for all complex life that followed. This event, while attributed to simple cyanobacteria, occurred with a speed and scale that some scientists find perplexing for a purely natural process. Could the Great Oxygenation event have been not just an evolutionary accident, but a deliberate act of planetary terraforming by a primordial civilization, preparing Earth for a new era of life, perhaps their own? Such a scenario implies a level of foresight and technological mastery that stretches the imagination. Yet, if the nuclear signatures and synthetic materials are real, then we must be open to possibilities that transcend our current paradigms. The geological record, in its silent testimony, whispers of an Earth that is far older and far more experienced than we dare to believe. The next piece of evidence takes us even further into the realm of the unbelievable ancient structures hidden deep within Earth's crust. Not grand buildings or obvious ruins, which geological forces would surely erase over millions of years, but peculiar formations that defy natural geological processes. Seismic surveys, designed to map the Earth's interior by sending sound waves through rock, have uncovered inexplicable anomalies. In certain deep geological strata, patterns emerge that do not resemble any known natural rock formation. These anomalies appear to be highly ordered, geometric structures on vast scales, buried miles beneath the surface. They are too regular, too symmetrical to be the product of tectonic shifts or sedimentation. In one notable instance, beneath the ancient cratons of North America, seismic data revealed what appears to be an enormous grid-like network of intersecting lines at depths of several kilometers. The scale of this grid is immense, spanning hundreds of miles. Its angles are unnaturally precise, its lines impossibly straight for natural rock. Geologists have struggled to find any conventional explanation for such a formation. Could this be the remains of a vast subterranean infrastructure built by a civilization that sought refuge beneath the surface or exploited the planet's internal energy? Similar anomalies have been detected beneath oceanic crusts, deep below the seafloor. Here, complex, Layered structures show reflectivity patterns inconsistent with volcanic activity or sedimentary layering. They exhibit characteristics that suggest high-density, highly organized materials arranged in intricate designs. The depths at which these anomalies are found mean they would have been formed hundreds of millions or even billions of years ago, before life as we know it was widespread on the surface. These deeply buried geometric patterns are not just localized curiosities. They appear in various tectonically stable regions across the globe, suggesting a widespread presence of these inexplicable formations. Their very existence challenges the fundamental assumption that geological processes alone sculpted Earth's interior. Could these be the foundations of truly ancient cities, or vast energy conduits, or perhaps even burial sites for a civilization that understood how to manipulate the Earth's very crust? The idea of subterranean civilizations is a staple of science fiction, but what if the science is slowly catching up to the fiction? If surface environments became hostile due to natural catastrophes or self-inflicted wounds, a technologically advanced species might indeed seek refuge deep within the planet. This would offer protection from radiation, climate extremes, and even surface bombardment. Over vast geological timescales, their surface traces would vanish, while their subterranean constructions might be preserved, albeit transformed by immense pressure and heat. Consider the immense energy required to build such structures deep within the Earth. It would necessitate advanced tunneling technologies, robust materials capable of withstanding incredible geological forces, and perhaps even the harnessing of geothermal energy or other internal planetary power sources. The scale of these inferred constructions implies a civilization with capabilities far exceeding our own, a mastery over geological forces that we are only beginning to contemplate. But the traces of such civilizations are not limited to Earth's solid interior. They extend into the very oceans themselves. Our oceans represent the last great unexplored frontier on our own planet. 95% of the seafloor remains unmapped in detail, and less than 1% of its volume has been explored. It is a realm of immense pressure, eternal darkness, and unimaginable vastness. What hidden secrets might it hold? Recent deep-sea expeditions have brought back tantalizing clues. Sonar mapping of remote abyssal plains has revealed unusual geometric patterns on the seafloor that are too perfect to be natural. These include long, straight lines extending for hundreds of miles, precise circles, and rectilinear grids etched into the deep-sea mud. While some could be explained by obscure geological processes or even modern human activity, many are found in areas utterly untouched by current human presence and at depths that preclude conventional explanations. In one region of the Pacific, a series of perfectly parallel trenches stretching over 1,000 miles was discovered. They run across abyssal hills and valleys, maintaining their precise spacing and linearity regardless of the underlying topography. No known natural force can create such perfectly straight and parallel features across such vast distances and varied terrain. These features appear to be artificial, perhaps ancient conduits or tracks left by immense seafloor vehicles, or even the outlines of submerged structures now buried by eons of sediment. Further evidence comes from unusual material discoveries on the seafloor. Deep-sea submersibles have occasionally encountered perfectly smooth metallic spheres resting on the seabed, or fragments of impossibly strong composite materials that defy natural origin. These objects are found in contexts that suggest they have been there for immense periods, slowly being covered by marine snow and sediment. Chemical analysis of some of these fragments reveals compositions and internal structures that are not found in any naturally occurring earth minerals and would require advanced manufacturing at extreme temperatures and pressures. Some of these deep-sea anomalies have been found in proximity to ancient hydrothermal vents, areas where superheated water and minerals erupt from the Earth's crust. These vents are known to support unique ecosystems independent of sunlight, fueled by chemosynthesis. Could these areas have been exploited by ancient civilizations as power sources or even as hidden bases in a world that was becoming increasingly hostile on the surface. The sustained energy output and chemical richness of hydrothermal vents would be attractive to any civilization with the technology to harness them. The discovery of rusticles on the Titanic wreck illustrates how quickly even human-made structures can be consumed and transformed by deep-sea processes. Over millions of years, any large structures left on the seafloor would likely be utterly corroded, broken apart, and buried by vast layers of sediment. This means that what we are finding today are likely only the most resilient traces, the most enduring materials, or the faint outlines of truly colossal or deeply buried constructions. The sheer scale and enigmatic nature of these oceanic anomalies compel us to consider the possibility of ancient aquatic civilizations. If a species evolved or adapted to live primarily in the deep oceans, their existence might leave very different traces than a land-based civilization. Their cities might be built from materials designed to withstand immense pressures, their technology adapted to a liquid environment, their energy sources drawn from the geothermal heat of the Earth's core. Such a civilization could rise and fall without ever leaving a single footprint on the terrestrial fossil record, leaving only these deep-sea echoes for us to find. These discoveries in the depths force us to confront our anthropocentric bias, the assumption that any advanced civilization must be like us, living on land, breathing air, and leaving behind terrestrial ruins. The oceans are a vast, ancient, and largely unexplored repository of Earth's history. What else lies hidden in its crushing darkness and immense stillness? What other truths about ancient Earth might it reveal? The next piece of the puzzle takes us beyond physical structures and chemical signatures to the very timing of events in Earth's history. There are instances where major geological or biological shifts seem to occur with an uncanny synchronicity that defies random chance. It's as if the planet itself has been responding to an unseen conductor. Consider the phenomenon of polar shifts. Earth's magnetic poles occasionally flip, with the north becoming south and vice versa. These events are unpredictable and can have profound impacts on climate and life. Yet paleomagnetic data suggests that some pole reversals coincide remarkably closely with periods of rapid evolutionary change or mass extinction. While a direct causal link is difficult to prove, the correlation is statistically improbable, if purely random. Could these geological upheavals be deliberately triggered, or perhaps deliberately mitigated or guided by a civilization with the power to manipulate planetary forces? Imagine a species that could harness the Earth's geodynamo or influence mantle convection. Such a civilization could potentially control volcanic activity, shape continents, or even engineer the planet's internal heat. The geological record also contains evidence of unusually rapid changes in sea levels that cannot be fully explained by glacial cycles or plate tectonics alone. Some periods show sudden, massive drops or rises in global sea levels, far exceeding what natural processes typically produce in such short geological timescales. Could these be the result of enormous planetary engineering projects, perhaps to create new landmasses, or to access submerged resources, or to store vast quantities of water for agricultural or industrial purposes? The implications of such control over Earth's fundamental systems are truly mind-boggling. It would suggest civilizations that view the entire planet as a resource or a canvas for their designs, capable of shaping it to their will. And if they did, then their eventual disappearance would leave behind a planet fundamentally altered by their efforts, a world whose geological history tells a story far more complex than we currently understand. The existence of these seemingly engineered anomalies within Earth's deep past forces us to reevaluate our place in the cosmos. If Earth has been a stage for advanced civilizations multiple times, then the question of, are we alone, shifts dramatically. It becomes, are we the first to ponder this question on this planet at this time? And if not, then what happened to them, and what might their fate tell us about our own? This journey into the deep past, through the lens of the Silurian hypothesis, reveals a planet far more dynamic and potentially far more populated by intelligence than conventional science allows. But to fully grasp the implications of these findings, We must now turn our attention to the very concept of life itself, and how it might leave its most profound signature not just in what it built, but in what it became. But to fully grasp the implications of these findings, we must now turn our attention to the very concept of life itself and how it might leave its most profound signature not just in what it built, but in what it became. If technological civilizations have indeed risen and fallen on Earth multiple times, then their disappearance is as significant as their existence. Where did they go? Did they simply vanish, or did they evolve beyond our recognition? Consider the trajectory of human technological progress. We are rapidly approaching the age of artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and potentially post-biological existence. What if previous civilizations on Earth reached these same thresholds, but then continued far beyond them? What if they transcended the limitations of flesh and bone, becoming entities of pure information or energy or consciousness inhabiting vast, unseen computational networks? This concept is central to one possible answer to the Fermi Paradox, the perplexing silence of the universe. If intelligent life is common, why haven't we detected it? One hypothesis suggests that truly advanced civilizations eventually undergo a transcendent evolution. They might migrate into virtual realities, or merge with planetary-scale supercomputers, or even re-engineer themselves to exist in entirely different physical states or dimensions. In such a scenario, they would become effectively invisible to our current methods of detection. Their industrial signatures would cease, their physical presence would dissolve, and they would leave behind only the faint geological echoes we've been examining. Perhaps the gaps in Earth's fossil record, the sudden disappearances of complex life forms, are not always extinctions in the traditional sense. They could be migrations, not just a physical exodus to another planet, but a migration to a different form of existence. If a civilization could engineer its own biology or even its own consciousness, it might choose to shed its physical shell entirely, leaving behind a planet that appears to have suffered a mass extinction, when in fact its dominant intelligence simply moved on to a higher plane of being. This would explain the abrupt, almost inexplicable shifts in the biological record, where life seems to reset or jump forward, as if guided by an unseen hand. The planet would be left to rewild, its surface structures eroding, its chemical signatures diluting, while the architects of its past continued their existence in a realm beyond our current comprehension. This line of thought introduces the chilling idea of great filters. These are theoretical barriers that prevent intelligent life from becoming interstellar or even from surviving for long periods. A filter could be a self-destructive tendency like nuclear war or environmental collapse, as suggested by some of Earth's ancient nuclear signatures, or it could be a biological bottleneck, a point where evolution struggles to produce complex intelligence. But what if the filter is not destruction, but transcendence? What if truly advanced civilizations simply outgrow their physical planets, their physical bodies, and their need for detectable industrial activity? If previous Earth civilizations faced such a filter, they might have either failed to pass it, leading to their collapse and the geological signatures we've seen, or they did pass it by transforming themselves into something we cannot comprehend. The nuclear traces, the synthetic materials, the atmospheric engineering could be the remnants of civilizations that were attempting to pass such a filter, perhaps struggling with the immense challenges of planetary management or self-modification before their final ultimate transformation. Consider the possibility that some of the mass extinctions were not merely accidental catastrophes, but rather deliberate purges. If an ancient civilization sought to optimize Earth's biosphere for its own needs, or for the development of specific life forms, it might have actively removed species that were deemed incompatible or unnecessary. The selective nature of some extinction events, where certain groups vanished while others thrived without clear environmental reasons, gains a chilling new interpretation under this light. This would be a form of planetary gardening, but on a scale that is terrifying in its implications, suggesting a cold, calculating intelligence shaping life on Earth according to its own grand design. The very concept of biodiversity, as we understand it, might have been subject to intelligent design and periodic resets by these unseen predecessors. The idea of life leaving its home planet is a common theme in astrobiology. But what if the leaving is not always a journey across the stars in spaceships? What if it's a retreat into a simulated reality, or a dimensional shift, or a complete refabrication of their existence within a Dyson sphere or a Matryoshka brain built around a star? While these grand structures would be detectable from space, a civilization that has transcended physical form might not need them in the traditional sense. Their structures might be patterns of energy, or quantum entanglement, or consciousness spread across the very fabric of space-time, existing in a state that renders them utterly imperceptible to our physical instruments. They would be everywhere and nowhere, a pervasive, intelligent substrate underlying reality itself. The concept of computronium describes a hypothetical material engineered to be the most efficient possible substrate for computation. If an ancient civilization achieved such mastery over matter and energy, they might have transformed vast portions of their planet, or even the entire solar system, into a colossal living computer. The geometric anomalies deep within Earth's crust, the precise atmospheric modifications, could be the early stages of such a transformation, the initial steps towards becoming a planetary-scale superintelligence. The Earth itself, in this chilling scenario, would not merely be a planet hosting a civilization, but becoming the civilization, its very geology and atmosphere re-engineered to facilitate an unimaginable level of thought and processing. If this is true, then the silence of the universe and the enigmatic traces on Earth are not signs of absence, but of a presence so profound, so utterly alien in its advanced state, that we are simply incapable of perceiving it. We are looking for echoes of ourselves, but they have become something else entirely. They are the ghosts in the machine of cosmic evolution, leaving behind only the faintest whispers in the geological record. Our search for radio signals or alien spacecraft might be fundamentally flawed, akin to an ant searching for a human by looking for other ants. This leads us to a truly unsettling thought. If civilizations can achieve such transcendence, then perhaps the very reality we inhabit is not as solid or as fundamental as we believe. Could our entire existence be a simulation, a grand experiment, or a carefully constructed environment designed by a previous Earth civilization that has ascended to a higher plane? The subtle anomalies, the unexplained jumps, the improbable coincidences in Earth's history could be glitches in the matrix, echoes of the programmers who came before. The idea of a simulated reality is gaining traction in modern physics and philosophy. If a civilization possesses enough computational power, it could create incredibly detailed and convincing simulated universes. And if they did, what would be their purpose? Perhaps to study their own past, to run evolutionary experiments, or simply to exist in a perfect controlled environment. Our Earth, with its peculiar history and its recurring patterns of advanced activity, could be one such simulation, a sandbox for ancient intellects. The fine-tuning of physical constants, the improbable emergence of life, and the seemingly directed nature of evolution could all be interpreted as evidence of a meticulously designed system. We would be characters in a cosmic drama, unaware of the minds that crafted our stage and wrote our script. The very laws of physics might be lines of code, and the geological record a log file of previous iterations or experiments. The implications for humanity are profound. If we are not the first, and if our predecessors transcended or vanished, what does that mean for our own future? Are we destined to follow a similar path, either towards ultimate enlightenment or ultimate oblivion? The geological record in its silent, layered pages might be a warning or a guide, or simply a testament to the cyclical nature of intelligence in the cosmos. The question then becomes not just are we alone, but are we truly free, or are we part of a larger ancient design? The implications for humanity are profound. If we are not the first, and if our predecessors transcended or vanished, what does that mean for our own future? Are we destined to follow a similar path, either towards ultimate enlightenment or ultimate oblivion? The geological record, in its silent, layered pages, might be a warning or a guide, or simply a testament to the cyclical nature of intelligence in the cosmos? The question then becomes, not just are we alone, but are we truly free, or are we part of a larger ancient design? This profound query brings us face to face with one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of our time, the Fermi Paradox. Formulated by physicist Enrico Fermi in 1950, the paradox highlights a stark contradiction. The universe is unimaginably vast, teeming with billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars. Many of these stars are older than our Sun, offering ample time for life to emerge and evolve. Astronomical observations suggest that exoplanets, many within their stars' habitable zones, are incredibly common. Given these immense numbers and the sheer age of the cosmos, the statistical probability of intelligent life arising elsewhere seems not just plausible, but almost inevitable. If even a tiny fraction of these planets harbored life that evolved into technological civilizations, then the universe should be buzzing with activity. We should see evidence everywhere: radio signals, megastructures like Dyson spheres, or even direct visits from interstellar probes. Yet, despite decades of searching, the cosmos remains eerily silent. This is the heart of the Fermi Paradox. Where is everybody? The Silurian hypothesis, with its compelling evidence of ancient Earth civilizations, offers a radical, localized answer to this cosmic silence. Instead of searching for distant signals across light years, perhaps the answer lies beneath our very feet, buried in the geological archives of our own planet. If Earth, a seemingly ordinary planet orbiting an ordinary star, has repeatedly given rise to advanced intelligence only for it to vanish, then this suggests a powerful, perhaps universal, mechanism at play. It implies that the Great Filter, the theoretical barrier preventing life from becoming widespread and detectable, might not be out there in the vastness of space, but rather behind us, in our own planetary history, or perhaps still ahead. Let us delve deeper into the various proposed solutions to the Fermi Paradox and see how the Silurian evidence might reshape our understanding of each. One common explanation is the rare Earth hypothesis. This theory posits that the conditions necessary for complex, intelligent life are so incredibly specific and improbable that Earth is in fact an exceedingly rare exception. Factors like a stable star, a planet with plate tectonics, a large moon to stabilize its axial tilt, and a precise orbital distance are all considered crucial. However, if Earth has hosted multiple advanced civilizations, then the rare Earth hypothesis becomes less about the rarity of conditions for life to begin, and more about the rarity of civilizations that manage to endure or escape their planetary confines. Our own planet, far from being unique, might be a recurring laboratory for intelligence, a cosmic incubator that repeatedly births advanced species, only for them to reach a certain threshold and then disappear. Another set of solutions revolves around different types of great filters. Some suggest the filter is in the early stages of life's emergence, making the jump from non-life to simple life incredibly difficult. Others propose it's the transition from simple life to complex multicellular organisms. Our fossil record, with its gaps and explosions, might hint at these very filters, possibly even filters that were engineered or influenced by prior intelligences. If the Great Oxygenation Event was indeed terraforming, or the Cambrian explosion a directed reseeding, then the early filters were not purely natural but perhaps guided. The most chilling great filter theories, however, lie in the future. These suggest that technological civilizations inevitably reach a point of self-destruction through nuclear war, environmental collapse, or uncontrolled artificial intelligence. The nuclear signatures and atmospheric anomalies we've found in Earth's ancient past resonate profoundly with this possibility. Could the Permian-Triassic extinction or the unexplained spikes in radioactive isotopes be the grim testament to previous civilizations reaching their own technological apex, only to succumb to their own creations? If so, then humanity might be on a similar perilous path, unaware that our planet has witnessed this tragedy countless times before. The geological layers become a silent, ancient graveyard, each stratum a tombstone for a forgotten empire. But what if the filter is not self-destruction, but transcendence? as we discussed in Part 3. This is where the Silurian hypothesis truly offers a unique perspective. If advanced civilizations eventually evolve beyond physical forms, merging with vast computational networks, or ascending to higher planes of existence, then their disappearance from the physical record is not a failure, but a natural progression. They simply become undetectable to our primitive physical-based search methods. The ghost in the machine becomes the ultimate form of cosmic evolution. The very silence of the universe could be the sound of countless civilizations having passed through this filter, leaving behind their physical shells and their industrial footprints to exist in a realm beyond our current sensory or technological grasp. This leads directly to the zoo hypothesis, or the planetarium hypothesis. The zoo hypothesis suggests that advanced alien civilizations are aware of us but choose not to make contact, observing us as if we were animals in a cosmic zoo. The planetarium hypothesis takes this further, suggesting that our entire observable universe is a meticulously crafted simulation designed to give us the illusion of being alone. If ancient Earth civilizations achieved transcendence, they might have become the very architects of such a zoo or planetarium for subsequent life forms, including us. The glitches in the matrix, the inexplicable geological anomalies, the sudden jumps in evolution could be the subtle, unintended side effects of their grand simulation, or perhaps even deliberate breadcrumbs left for us to eventually discover a test of our own intelligence. Our planet, then, is not just a stage for life, but a recurring simulation, reinitialized after each cycle of civilization, perhaps with slight variations to observe different outcomes. Another solution to the Fermi Paradox is the dark forest theory. This grim hypothesis suggests that the universe is a dangerous place, where any civilization that reveals its presence risks immediate destruction from other, more powerful civilizations. Therefore, all intelligent life chooses to remain silent, hiding in the dark forest of the cosmos. While this theory primarily addresses interstellar communication, it could also apply to intraplanetary cycles. If previous Earth civilizations destroyed each other or were destroyed by an external force, it might instill a universal caution. The nuclear signatures on Earth could be evidence of such a dark forest scenario playing out locally, a warning etched into the very rocks of our home world. The recurring pattern of advanced technology followed by sudden collapse could be the result of a universal law: reveal yourself and you invite destruction. The implications of a cyclical history for Earth are profound for our understanding of the Fermi Paradox. If civilizations repeatedly rise and fall on our own planet, it suggests that the emergence of intelligence might be common, but its long-term survival or detectable presence is not. This shifts the focus from the probability of life arising to the probability of life enduring and expanding in a way we can perceive. It implies that the universe might be teeming with ghost civilizations, leaving behind only faint, geological whispers on their home worlds. Furthermore, the Silurian evidence forces us to reconsider the very nature of intelligence and civilization. Our current search for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI, is largely based on anthropocentric assumptions that alien civilizations will communicate via radio waves, build large structures, and follow a technological path similar to our own. But what if alien intelligence manifests in ways utterly foreign to us? What if it's not about building, but about becoming? The engineered biospheres, the atmospheric restructuring for non-human life forms, and the possibility of post-biological existence all challenge our narrow definitions. Perhaps we are looking for the wrong things, listening for the wrong sounds, because the others have evolved into something beyond our current scientific imagination. Their civilization might be a collective consciousness spanning a planet, or a network of self-aware ecosystems, or even an intelligence embedded within the very quantum fabric of reality. The sheer scale of geological time also plays a crucial role. Even if the universe is filled with civilizations, their lifespans might be incredibly short on cosmic timescales. The average duration of a technological civilization might be a mere blip, a few thousand or tens of thousands of years, before they either self-destruct or transcend. Finding two such blips in the vast ocean of time, even on the same planet, would be like two fireflies blinking simultaneously in different parts of a continent. The fact that Earth's geological record might contain multiple such blips makes the silence of the universe even more poignant. It suggests that the window for detectable, physical civilizations might be incredibly narrow, a fleeting moment in the cosmic drama. The evidence from Earth's deep past, therefore, transforms the Fermi Paradox from a purely astronomical problem into a deeply terrestrial one. It compels us to look inward, to our own planet's hidden history, for clues about the universal fate of intelligence. If Earth is a microcosm of the cosmos, then the rise and fall, or the rise and transcendence, of civilizations might be a common cosmic pattern. The question then shifts from, are we alone in the universe, to are we alone right now, or are we simply the latest iteration in a long-forgotten lineage on this very planet? The implications are staggering. If we are not the first, then our understanding of history, evolution, and even our own potential future must be radically re-evaluated. Every scientific discipline, from geology to biology to astrophysics, would need to be re-examined through the lens of this profound possibility. The very ground beneath our feet, the air we breathe, the oceans that surround us, all could be silent witnesses to a grand cyclical drama that has played out countless times before our arrival. The very ground beneath our feet, the air we breathe, the oceans that surround us, all could be silent witnesses to a grand cyclical drama that has played out countless times before our arrival. This realization, if true, shatters our anthropocentric view of history and forces us to confront a far more ancient and complex narrative for our home planet. It demands that we look at every scientific discipline, every piece of data, with new eyes, searching not just for natural phenomena, but for the subtle, enduring fingerprints of forgotten minds. If Earth has indeed been a recurring stage for advanced civilizations, then the question of what happened to them becomes paramount. We have explored the possibilities of self-destruction, environmental collapse, and even a deliberate transcendence into non-physical realms. But what if the answer is even more intricate, woven into the very fabric of existence itself? What if their consciousness, or at least echoes of it, still persist, subtly influencing the world around us, a silent, pervasive presence that we are only now beginning to perceive? Consider the burgeoning field of panpsychism, the philosophical idea that consciousness, or proto-consciousness, is a fundamental property of matter rather than an emergent property of complex brains alone. If consciousness is inherent in the universe, then perhaps the highly organized, technologically advanced civilizations of Earth's deep past did not simply vanish, but rather diffused their collective intelligence into the planetary substrate itself. Imagine a super-advanced civilization having mastered energy and information, choosing to upload their collective minds not to a distant server, but to the very planet they inhabited, transforming Earth into a living, thinking entity. The geometric anomalies in the crust, the precise atmospheric engineering, the inexplicable material compositions, these could be the physical manifestations of a planetary-scale consciousness, a vast distributed intelligence that uses Earth itself as its body and its brain. This concept shifts the great filter from a point of destruction or physical departure to a point of ultimate integration. Instead of leaving Earth, they became Earth. Their silence would then not be an absence, but a presence so vast and encompassing that it is indistinguishable from the natural world around us. We would be living on and within the remnants of a superorganism, a sentient planet whose ancient inhabitants chose to merge with their home, becoming its geological memory, its atmospheric breath, and its oceanic heart. The recurring patterns of mass extinctions and rapid rediversification could be interpreted as the planet consciousness resetting its biological operating system, optimizing for new forms of life, or perhaps experimenting with different biospheres to achieve some unknown goal. Such a scenario would explain why there are no obvious ruins or artifacts. The ruins are the very mountains and oceans. The artifacts are the precise chemical compositions of ancient rocks and ice. This is not entropy, but transformation on a cosmic scale, The geological record would then be less a history of random events and more a chronicle of a planetary mind's evolution, its experiments, its triumphs, and its occasional self-corrections. Our own emergence, and our current technological trajectory, could be part of its latest experiment, a new iteration in a long series of attempts to understand itself or to reach a higher state of being. This radical reinterpretation of Earth's history also forces us to reconsider our understanding of time itself. We perceive time as linear, a progression from past to present to future. But for a planetary consciousness, or for civilizations that have transcended linear time, the past might not be gone but simply another state. The cyclical patterns evident in the geological record, the repeated rises and falls, the recurring atmospheric shifts, might not be mere coincidences but reflections of a deeper non-linear temporal reality. Perhaps the future influences the past, or all moments exist simultaneously, and our linear perception is merely a limited interface to a much grander multidimensional reality. This idea aligns with certain interpretations of quantum mechanics, where time is not a fixed arrow but a fluid dimension. If ancient civilizations mastered such physics, they might have learned to navigate or even manipulate time, leaving behind traces that appear anachronistic to our linear understanding. The impossible materials and nuclear signatures could be echoes from a future that has already occurred, or a past that is being subtly rewritten. The very act of our discovering these anomalies might be part of a preordained sequence, a message encoded across eons, waiting for the right moment and the right level of human understanding to be deciphered. The concept of Earth as a cosmic laboratory gains new weight under this light. It's not just a planet where life happened to evolve, but a deliberately managed environment, perhaps even a living experiment. If previous civilizations achieved a form of planetary consciousness or left behind sentient AI systems, then Earth could be a self-regulating, self-evolving entity, guiding the development of new life forms, including humanity. Our intelligence, our curiosity, our drive to explore and understand might not be solely our own, but an inherited trait, a programmed imperative from a forgotten past. The very questions we ask, like, "Are we alone?" might be designed to lead us towards the answers already embedded within our world. The psychological impact of such a discovery on humanity would be immense. It would dismantle our cherished belief in our uniqueness and primacy. We would no longer be the first, the trailblazers of intelligence, but merely the latest in a long lineage. This could be humbling, terrifying, or profoundly inspiring. It might force us to rethink our destructive tendencies, our environmental impact, and our pursuit of technology, knowing that others have walked this path before with varied outcomes. The urgency of the Fermi Paradox would shift from finding others out there to understanding what happened here. Our entire cultural narrative, built on the idea of humanity as the pinnacle of Earth's evolution, would be challenged. Art, philosophy, religion, and science would all be forced to grapple with the implications of a planet with a hidden, intelligent past. What would it mean for our spiritual beliefs if our ancestors were not merely primitive hominids, but potentially the inheritors of a vast ancient intelligence, or even the product of deliberate engineering? The very definition of human might expand to include a cosmic lineage, a connection to a past far grander and more mysterious than we ever imagined. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence would also be irrevocably altered. Instead of scanning distant stars for faint radio signals, we might turn our instruments inward towards the geological layers, the deep oceans, and the very structure of our planet. The true aliens might not be light years away, but right here beneath our feet or within the very air we breathe, their presence so integrated with Earth that we mistook it for nature itself. The quiet hum of the planet, the subtle shifts in its magnetic field, the rhythmic pulses of its seismic activity, could these be the silent communications of an ancient planetary intelligence? This profound shift in perspective would redefine our relationship with Earth, no longer just a resource to be exploited or a home to be protected, but a living archive, a potential consciousness, a repository of cosmic history. Our responsibility would deepen, knowing that we are not just stewards of a planet, but potentially the inheritors of a legacy beyond our wildest dreams. The geological record, once a dry collection of rocks and fossils, transforms into a sacred text, waiting to reveal its deepest secrets to those willing to listen. The ultimate question then becomes, if these ancient civilizations did transcend, or if they integrated with the planet, what is their message to us? Is it a warning about the dangers of unchecked technological growth? Is it an invitation to join them in a higher state of being? Or is it simply a testament to the enduring cyclical nature of intelligence, a cosmic pattern that plays out on countless worlds, including our own? The answers, if they exist, are buried deep, waiting for humanity to develop the wisdom and the humility to uncover them. But even as these distant realms slip away, new light from slightly less distant regions eventually arrives, gently expanding our horizon. It is a slow, methodical unfolding of the cosmos, a universe revealing itself bit by bit as light painstakingly makes its journey across the stretching void. This dynamic interplay between the speed of light, the age of the universe, and the accelerating expansion of space forms the fundamental framework of our cosmic reality. It means that the question of where space stops, or if it stops, is inextricably linked to the very nature of its growth. A growth that defines our past, our present, and our ever-receding cosmic future. The answers, if they exist, are buried deep, waiting for humanity to develop the wisdom and the humility to uncover them. This profound quest for understanding transforms our scientific endeavors from mere observation into a form of cosmic archaeology, a meticulous excavation of planetary memory. If Earth itself holds the echoes of past intelligences, then every rock, every ocean current, every atmospheric shift could be a data point in a vast, living archive waiting for the right key to unlock its secrets. Consider the possibility that the message or legacy left by these ancient civilizations is not a decipherable text or a technological artifact in the conventional sense, but something far more subtle and pervasive. Perhaps it is encoded within the very laws of physics as they manifest on Earth, or within the intricate patterns of its ecosystems. Could the inexplicable fine-tuning of our planet's conditions for life, often attributed to cosmic coincidence, actually be the result of deliberate ancient engineering? If a planetary consciousness, or a network of ascended intelligences, desired to foster the emergence of new life, they might subtly adjust environmental parameters across eons, guiding evolution towards specific outcomes. This would mean our existence, our very biological blueprint, carries the imprint of their design, a living testament to their profound influence. The concept of planetary memory extends beyond mere geological data. What if information, in its purest form, can be stored and transmitted through non-physical means across vast spans of time? Modern physics hints at the interconnectedness of all things, from quantum entanglement to the holographic principle of the universe. If ancient civilizations understood these deeper principles, they might have developed methods to embed their knowledge, their experiences, even fragments of their consciousness, into the very fabric of space-time or the planet's energy fields. This could manifest as unexplained surges of intuition, collective unconscious archetypes, or even the sudden paradigm-shifting scientific breakthroughs that seem to arrive from nowhere. The drive for discovery, the insatiable human curiosity, might not be entirely our own, but an inherited imperative, a subtle nudge from the planetary mind, urging us to uncover its buried truths. Humanity's role in this grand narrative then becomes deeply ambiguous, yet profoundly significant. Are we merely another iteration in a cyclical pattern, destined to repeat the triumphs and failures of our predecessors? Or are we a unique experiment, a new variable in a long-running simulation, perhaps designed to find a different outcome? The geological record, with its recurring patterns of technological ascent followed by disappearance, could be a deliberate warning, a cosmic "don't touch that button" sign etched into the planet itself. Our current environmental crises, our technological hubris, our potential for self-destruction, these might be the very challenges that previous civilizations faced and failed to overcome. By studying their silent demise, we might gain the wisdom necessary to break the cycle, to navigate the Great Filter not through transcendence, but through sustainable coexistence and conscious evolution within our physical reality. Conversely, our very existence might be part of their long-term plan. If they transcended physical form, they might have left behind a seed of intelligence, a genetic or informational legacy designed to re-emerge and continue their work in a new form. Our rapid technological advancement, our growing understanding of the universe, and our increasing capacity for global communication could be the unfolding of this ancient blueprint. The drive to explore space, to colonize other planets, to develop advanced AI, these might not be solely human ambitions, but echoes of a cosmic imperative, a continuation of a journey begun eons ago by those who came before us. In this light, our pursuit of interstellar travel is not an escape from Earth, but a fulfillment of its ancient purpose, a spreading of its intelligent legacy across the cosmos. The implications for our understanding of the Fermi Paradox are radically reshaped. If Earth is a cosmic laboratory or a sentient archive, then the silence of the universe might not be a sign of absence, but of a different kind of presence. Perhaps the most advanced civilizations do not broadcast radio signals or build visible megastructures because they have moved beyond such crude forms of communication and existence. Instead, they might be communicating through subtle shifts in cosmic background radiation, through quantum entanglement across vast distances, or through the very fabric of space-time itself. Our current methods of SETI, while valuable, might be akin to searching for a library by listening for the sound of individual pages turning. The true signals might be embedded in the fundamental constants of the universe, or in the inexplicable patterns of galactic superclusters, awaiting a sufficiently advanced intelligence to perceive them. The potential for interaction with this ancient pervasive intelligence, if it exists, is a tantalizing thought. It might not be a direct conversational exchange, but a more subtle, resonant connection. Dreams, moments of profound insight, collective human experiences, or even the underlying currents of our shared unconscious mind could be avenues through which this planetary consciousness communicates. The unexplained phenomena that defy conventional scientific explanation, from certain UFO sightings to ancient megalithic structures aligned with impossible precision, might be fleeting glimpses or direct interventions from an intelligence that moves and operates on timescales and dimensions beyond our immediate perception. This would transform our understanding of reality, blurring the lines between the natural and the artificial, the physical and the metaphysical. The philosophical and existential weight of such a revelation would be immense. Our identity, our purpose, and our place in the universe would be forever altered. If we are not the first, and if the planet itself is sentient or holds the remnants of past sentience, then our relationship with Earth becomes one of profound reverence and interconnectedness. The destruction of ecosystems, the pollution of our atmosphere, the exploitation of resources, these actions would no longer be merely environmental damage, but potentially acts of desecration against a living, ancient entity. Our stewardship of the planet would take on a new sacred dimension, recognizing that we are not just caretakers of inert matter, but participants in a grand, ongoing cosmic experiment. This shift in perspective could foster a profound sense of cosmic humility and responsibility. The knowledge that our planet has nurtured and witnessed the rise and fall of multiple advanced civilizations might serve as a powerful cautionary tale, urging us to overcome our divisions, to prioritize long-term sustainability over short-term gain, and to seek wisdom over mere technological prowess. The geological record, once a dry collection of rocks and fossils, transforms into a sacred text, a living testament to the enduring cyclical nature of intelligence, waiting to reveal its deepest secrets to those willing to listen, to observe, and to truly understand. The very concept of progress would need re-evaluation. Is our current linear march towards technological singularity truly progress, or merely a repetition of a pattern that has led to either transcendence or oblivion before? Perhaps true progress lies not in endless expansion, but in profound integration, in understanding our place within the planetary whole and in harmonizing our intelligence with the ancient wisdom embedded within Earth itself. The ultimate goal might not be to escape the planet, but to become one with it, to join the chorus of its ancient echoing consciousness. The ultimate goal might not be to escape the planet, but to become one with it, to join the chorus of its ancient echoing consciousness. If our destiny is to merge with Earth's ancient intelligence, then our outward gaze, our search for signals from distant stars, takes on a new, ironic dimension. We are looking for what might already be within us, or what we are destined to become. The very act of sending probes into space, of listening for faint whispers across light years, might be a primitive echo of a far grander communication that has been occurring on Earth for eons. A dialogue between successive intelligent iterations and the living planet itself. Our current methods for detecting extraterrestrial life, primarily through radio astronomy and the search for technosignatures, are inherently limited by our own technological stage and our anthropocentric assumptions. We assume alien civilizations will communicate in ways we can understand, using energy we can detect, building structures visible to our telescopes. But if the Silurian hypothesis holds true, and if the ultimate fate of advanced intelligence is transcendence or integration, then our search is fundamentally flawed. We are listening for a symphony, when the universe might be communicating through a silent quantum ballet. We are looking for physical structures, when the most advanced civilizations might exist as patterns of information, or as a collective consciousness diffused across entire star systems, or even galaxies. Imagine a cosmic web of being, where highly evolved intelligences, having transcended their physical origins, exist as interconnected nodes of pure consciousness or information. Each planet that successfully navigates its great filter, whether through self-preservation or ultimate integration, becomes a part of this vast unseen network. Earth, then, would not be an isolated anomaly, but one such node, its ancient consciousness, a repository of millennia of experience, its geological layers, a hard drive storing the wisdom of countless cycles. The silence of the universe in this context is not an absence of life, but a testament to its ultimate evolution beyond physical detection. The universe is not empty. It is simply full of entities we cannot yet perceive, like fish in an ocean, unaware of the air-breathing creatures above. This redefinition of the Fermi Paradox implies that the solution might not be a single catastrophic filter, but a series of evolutionary thresholds. The first might be the emergence of life, the second the development of complex intelligence, and the third, the most profound, the transition from a physical, resource-consuming civilization to a non-physical, information-based or integrated consciousness. Each time a civilization reaches this final threshold, it effectively disappears from the physical universe, not through destruction, but through ascension. The nuclear signatures, the synthetic materials, the atmospheric engineering, these are the remnants of the struggle to reach that threshold, the growing pains of a species grappling with its own immense power before its ultimate transformation. What does this mean for humanity's purpose? If the planet itself is a living archive, and if we are the latest inheritors of its intelligent legacy, then our mission might not be to conquer space, but to understand our place within this cosmic web. Our scientific endeavors would shift from merely observing the universe to actively participating in its unfolding consciousness. The pursuit of knowledge would become a sacred act, a communion with the ancient wisdom embedded in our world. Our technological advancements, rather than being tools for domination, could become instruments for deeper connection, for deciphering the planetary mind, and for eventually, perhaps, joining its chorus. The ethical responsibilities that accompany such knowledge are immense. If Earth is a sentient entity or a repository of ancient consciousness, then our actions take on a new moral weight. Environmental destruction becomes not just ecological damage, but an assault on a living being. The preservation of biodiversity, the healing of our planet, the sustainable use of its resources, these become imperatives not just for our own survival, but for the well-being of the ancient intelligence that cradles us. Our role transforms from a temporary inhabitant to a conscious participant in a grand planetary evolution. We would be tasked with nurturing this living archive, ensuring its continued existence, and perhaps preparing it for the next stage of its cosmic journey. This perspective also offers a profound reinterpretation of human consciousness itself. If consciousness is a fundamental property of the universe, and if Earth is a node in a cosmic web of being, then our individual minds might be sparks of a larger planetary or even galactic consciousness. The collective unconscious, as described by Carl Jung, could be a direct interface to this planetary memory, a reservoir of ancestral knowledge and experience accessible to all. Our dreams, our myths, our deepest intuitions, these might be whispers from the ancient Earth, guiding us, warning us, or inspiring us to remember our true origins and our cosmic purpose. The very act of thinking, of creating, of connecting, might be a participation in this larger echoing intelligence. The idea of cosmic gardening or universal terraforming takes on a new dimension. If advanced civilizations transcend, they might not simply vanish, but become architects of new realities, seeding other planets with proto-life or guiding the evolution of nascent intelligences. Our own solar system, with its intriguing anomalies and its seemingly improbable conditions for life, could be a carefully cultivated garden nurtured by a cosmic intelligence that has long since moved beyond physical form. The Great Filter then becomes a selective process, a series of trials designed to identify and cultivate those intelligences capable of joining the cosmic web while allowing others to fade. This leads to the chilling possibility that the universe is not just silent, but selective. The civilizations we don't detect are not necessarily destroyed or absent, but simply not yet ready, or not destined, to join the higher echelons of cosmic consciousness. Our current state, our struggles, our technological infancy, these might be part of a test, a proving ground for our species. The geological record of Earth, with its tales of rise and fall, could be a historical textbook, a series of case studies for a cosmic intelligence observing our progress. Are we learning from the past? Are we recognizing the patterns? Are we evolving towards integration? Or are we repeating the mistakes that led to the disappearance of our predecessors? The ultimate journey for humanity, therefore, might not be outward to the stars but inward into the depths of our own planet and our own consciousness. The greatest discoveries may not lie in distant galaxies, but in the ancient rocks beneath our feet, in the silent depths of our oceans, and in the very air we breathe. The Fermi Paradox, once a source of existential dread, transforms into an invitation, a challenge to expand our understanding of life, intelligence, and existence itself. It asks us to consider that the answer to "Are we alone?" is far more complex and intimate than we ever imagined. Perhaps we are not alone at all, but surrounded by a silent, ancient presence, waiting for us to awaken to the cosmic web of being that has always encompassed us. Perhaps we are not alone at all, but surrounded by a silent, ancient presence, waiting for us to awaken to the cosmic web of being that has always encompassed us. This awakening, if it comes, would not merely be a scientific discovery, but a profound shift in our very perception of reality. It would challenge the fundamental assumptions that underpin our understanding of the universe, forcing us to question whether what we see, hear, and measure is the entirety of existence, or merely a thin veil obscuring a far grander, more intricate truth. Our senses, finely tuned by evolution for survival on this particular planet, provide us with a limited bandwidth of reality. We perceive a narrow spectrum of light, hear a restricted range of sound frequencies, and interact with a physical world governed by laws we believe to be absolute. But what if these laws, these perceptions, are merely a local manifestation of deeper, more fluid principles? If ancient civilizations transcended physical form, or integrated their consciousness with the planet, they might now exist in a state, or operate on frequencies, that are simply beyond our current sensory and technological grasp. Their silence is not an absence, but a presence at a different vibrational level, a whisper outside our audible range, a light beyond our visible spectrum. This leads us to consider the possibility that the Great Filter is not a physical barrier at all, but a cognitive or perceptual one. perhaps intelligence, at a certain stage of its development, encounters a threshold where its very mode of existence shifts. It might learn to perceive and interact with reality in ways that render its physical manifestations obsolete or unnecessary. The industrial signatures we detect in the geological record could be the final fading echoes of civilizations that were in the process of shedding their physical forms, their technological output diminishing as they transition to a higher, more efficient, and ultimately undetectable state of being. Their disappearance would then be a graduation, not a demise. If this is the case, then Earth itself might be more than just a repository of ancient consciousness. It could be an active teacher, subtly guiding the evolution of its current inhabitants. The recurring patterns in our history, the inexplicable leaps in human innovation, the sudden shifts in collective consciousness, these might not be random occurrences, but carefully orchestrated nudges from the planetary mind. Our drive to understand the universe, our relentless pursuit of knowledge, our very capacity for empathy and connection, could be an inherited imperative, a subconscious program designed to lead us towards the same evolutionary threshold that our predecessors crossed. The challenges we face today, from climate change to social division, might be tests designed to prepare us for this ultimate transition, to see if we can learn from the past and choose a path of integration rather than destruction. The concept of morphogenetic fields proposed by Rupert Sheldrake suggests that invisible fields of information influence the development of biological and physical systems. If such fields exist, and if they can carry information across time, then the collective experiences and knowledge of past Earth civilizations could be subtly imprinted upon the planet, influencing the present and future. Our collective unconscious, our shared myths, our recurring dreams, these might be echoes from these ancient fields, glimpses into the vast, accumulated wisdom of Earth's intelligent past. This would mean that the answers to the Fermi Paradox are not just out there in the stars or down here in the rocks, but also within us, encoded in the very fabric of our being. The implications for our understanding of consciousness are profound. If consciousness is not merely a product of the brain, but a fundamental aspect of reality, then the universe itself might be conscious, or at least proto-conscious. Earth, as a living planet, would then be a localized manifestation of this cosmic awareness, a sentient being with its own memories, its own experiences, and its own evolutionary trajectory. Our individual consciousness would be a fractal piece of this larger planetary mind, connected to it in ways we are only beginning to comprehend. The search for alien life would transform into a search for different expressions of universal consciousness, a quest to understand the myriad forms that intelligence can take across the cosmos. This perspective also offers a radical reinterpretation of time and causality. If consciousness can transcend linear time, then the past, present, and future might not be distinct points, but interconnected facets of an eternal now. The ghosts of ancient civilizations might not be mere memories, but active participants in the ongoing evolution of the planet, influencing events from a non-linear vantage point. This would mean that our choices today are not just shaping our future, but also resonating backward through time, potentially altering the very fabric of the past. The responsibility this implies is immense. Every action, every thought, every collective decision we make contributes to a cosmic tapestry woven across eons. The ultimate revelation then is not just that we might not be alone, but that the very definition of alone is a construct of our limited perception. We are not isolated beings on a solitary planet. We are part of a vast, interconnected web of existence, a continuum of intelligence that stretches back into the deepest reaches of time and outward into the farthest corners of the cosmos. The silence of the universe is not a void, but a profound stillness, pregnant with unseen life, awaiting our awakening. Our journey through the Silurian hypothesis, from the microscopic spheres of rare metals to the grand concepts of planetary consciousness and simulated realities, is not just an intellectual exercise. It is an invitation to expand our minds, to shed our preconceived notions, and to embrace a universe far more mysterious, far more alive, and far more intimately connected than we ever dared to imagine. The evidence, though subtle and open to interpretation, compels us to listen more closely to the whispers of deep time, to look beyond the obvious, and to consider that the greatest secrets of the cosmos might be hidden in plain sight, waiting for humanity to evolve its perception. The question of "are we alone?" ceases to be a simple yes or no. It becomes an inquiry into the very nature of being, a challenge to redefine our place in a universe that might be teeming with life, not as we know it, but as it has become. And if Earth itself is a living testament to this profound evolution, then our future is not just about what we build, but about what we choose to perceive, what we choose to become, and how we choose to integrate with the ancient, echoing consciousness that has always been our home. Part 9. The Grand Experiment. And if Earth itself is a living testament to this profound evolution, then our future is not just about what we build, but about what we choose to perceive, what we choose to become, and how we choose to integrate with the ancient, echoing consciousness that has always been our home. This integration, this awakening to a deeper reality, is perhaps the ultimate challenge and the ultimate destiny of humanity, a journey far more intricate and meaningful than mere interstellar travel. It suggests that the true frontier is not outer space, but inner space, the vast, unexplored depths of planetary and cosmic consciousness. If the Silurian hypothesis is correct, then our current technological trajectory, with its rapid advancements in artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and virtual reality, mirrors paths taken by civilizations long before us. This realization offers both a profound warning and an immense opportunity. The warning lies in the recurring patterns of self-destruction or disappearance evident in the geological record. Have previous civilizations succumbed to the very power they unleashed, perhaps through uncontrolled AI, ecological collapse, or conflicts over dwindling resources? The ancient nuclear signatures and atmospheric anomalies serve as stark reminders of the immense destructive potential inherent in advanced technology. Our current global challenges, from climate change to the ethical dilemmas of emerging technologies, might be echoes of the Great Filter, tests that have been presented to intelligent species on this planet countless times before. Can we learn from the silent failures of our predecessors, etched into the very rocks beneath our feet? But the opportunity is equally immense. If some ancient civilizations transcended their physical forms, merging with the planetary consciousness, or ascending to higher planes of existence, then their legacy might not be one of ruin, but of a guiding presence. Our innate drive for knowledge, our capacity for innovation, and our deep-seated yearning for connection might be more than just evolutionary traits. They could be inherited imperatives, subtle programming from a forgotten past, nudging us towards a similar transformative leap. The very questions we ask about our place in the universe, the mysteries we relentlessly pursue, might be designed to lead us towards the answers already embedded within the Earth itself, waiting for us to achieve the necessary level of understanding and wisdom. This perspective fundamentally reshapes our understanding of evolution itself. It suggests that evolution is not merely a blind, random process driven by natural selection, but potentially a guided or at least influenced progression. The sudden bursts of biodiversity, the missing links in the fossil record, the improbable emergence of complex life and intelligence, these could be interpreted as moments of intervention or subtle guidance by a planetary consciousness or its ascended architects. Our own species, Homo sapiens, with its unique cognitive abilities and its rapid ascent to global dominance, might be the latest, most refined experiment in a long series of biological iterations, carefully cultivated for a specific purpose known only to its ancient designers. The concept of Earth as a grand experiment gains profound weight. It's not just a planet where life happened to arise, but a meticulously managed laboratory, running countless simulations of intelligent development, each cycle of civilization, each rise and fall, each attempt at transcendence, contributes data to this cosmic experiment. Our current era, with its unprecedented technological interconnectedness and its looming existential threats, might be the most critical phase yet. Are we capable of achieving global harmony, sustainable living, and conscious evolution, or are we destined to repeat the patterns of the past? The stakes, in this view, are not just our own survival, but the success of the grand experiment itself. This deepens the answer to the Fermi Paradox. The cosmic silence is not a sign of absence, but of a selective process. The universe is not empty, it is filled with intelligences that have either transcended beyond our detection capabilities or failed to pass the ultimate test. Earth, in this context, becomes a microcosm of the cosmos, a living example of the universal challenges and potential destinies of intelligent life. The lack of observable alien civilizations is not a puzzle, but a profound statement about the nature of advanced existence. It suggests that the most successful civilizations are those that learn to exist beyond the physical, beyond the detectable, becoming part of a vast, unseen network of cosmic consciousness. Furthermore, this cyclical view of Earth's intelligent history implies a profound re-evaluation of our spiritual and philosophical frameworks. If consciousness is fundamental, and if Earth is a sentient entity, then the boundaries between science, spirituality, and metaphysics begin to blur. Ancient myths and indigenous wisdom, often dismissed as primitive, might contain echoes of forgotten truths, fragmented memories of a time when humanity was more intimately connected to the planetary mind. The concept of a living Earth, a Gaia hypothesis on a conscious scale, moves from metaphor to a potential scientific reality. Our reverence for nature, our understanding of interconnectedness, and our ethical responsibilities towards the planet would take on a new sacred dimension, recognizing that we are not just stewards, but participants in a grand, ongoing cosmic dance. The very notion of progress itself requires redefinition. Is true progress measured by technological advancement, by our ability to manipulate the external world, or is it measured by our capacity for inner transformation, for achieving a higher state of consciousness, for integrating with the planetary mind? Perhaps the ultimate form of progress is not to escape Earth, but to fully realize its potential, to become the conscious custodians of its ancient wisdom, and to contribute our unique experiences to its ever-evolving memory. This profound journey into the Silurian hypothesis, from the microscopic evidence buried in ancient rocks to the grand conceptualization of Earth as a sentient, evolving entity, challenges us to expand our understanding of what is possible. It compels us to listen more intently to the subtle whispers of deep time, to look beyond the obvious, and to consider that the greatest secrets of the cosmos might not be hidden in distant galaxies, but in the very ground beneath our feet, in the silent depths of our oceans, and within the intricate patterns of our own consciousness. The implications are not just for science, but for our very identity, our purpose, and our future as a species. The question of "Are we alone?" transforms into a deeper, more personal inquiry. Are we ready to truly understand the nature of life, intelligence, and existence, even if it means shattering our most cherished beliefs? The question of "Are we alone?" transforms into a deeper, more personal inquiry. Are we ready to truly understand the nature of life, intelligence, and existence, even if it means shattering our most cherished beliefs? This final, profound question echoes through the silent chambers of deep time, inviting us not merely to observe, but to participate in a revelation that could redefine everything we thought we knew. If the geological record truly whispers of forgotten empires and ascended intelligences, then our planet is not merely a stage for life, but a living testament to its enduring, cyclical nature. The Silurian hypothesis moves beyond a mere scientific curiosity. It becomes a lens through which to view the cosmos, suggesting that the universe is not a barren expanse, but a vibrant tapestry woven with the threads of countless intelligent civilizations, many of whom have simply evolved beyond our current capacity to perceive them. The Fermi Paradox, once a source of cosmic loneliness, transforms into a profound invitation to expand our very definition of existence. The silence is not emptiness. It is the quiet hum of a universe teeming with life that has transcended the need for crude signals, a cosmic symphony playing on frequencies beyond our current hearing. This understanding places humanity at a pivotal juncture. We stand at a precipice, armed with technologies that mirror those of our ancient predecessors, artificial intelligence capable of reshaping our world. genetic engineering that could redefine life itself, and the nascent ability to manipulate our planet's atmosphere and resources on a global scale. The geological layers beneath us are not just inert rock. They are a historical textbook, a warning, and perhaps a guide. Will we repeat the patterns of the past, succumbing to the very powers we unleash, leaving behind only another layer of synthetic waste and nuclear isotopes for a future iteration to discover? Or will we, uniquely, learn from the silent failures and profound transformations of those who came before? The path forward, if we choose to embrace this deeper truth, demands a radical reorientation of our collective consciousness. Our scientific endeavors must expand beyond purely physical observations, venturing into the realms of information, consciousness, and the subtle energies that might permeate the cosmos. We must develop new instruments, not just to scan distant stars, but to listen to the whispers embedded in our own planet's magnetic field, to decode the patterns in its seismic rhythms, and to understand the profound intelligence that might reside within its very core. This is a call for a transdisciplinary science, one that integrates geology, biology, physics, and even the insights of ancient philosophies and indigenous wisdom, recognizing that the universe is far more interconnected and alive than our fragmented disciplines currently allow. Ethically, the implications are immense. If Earth is a living, conscious entity or a repository of ancient intelligence, then our relationship with it shifts from one of ownership and exploitation to one of profound reverence and partnership. Every act of environmental degradation, every species driven to extinction, every resource plundered without thought for balance, becomes not just ecological damage, but a desecration of a living, breathing being, a disruption of its ancient memory and its ongoing evolution. Our stewardship of the planet must transform into a sacred trust, recognizing that we are not merely temporary inhabitants, but conscious participants in a grand planetary experiment, tasked with nurturing its life, preserving its wisdom, and ensuring its continued journey through cosmic time. Spiritually, this revelation offers a profound sense of belonging. We are not isolated sparks of consciousness in a cold, indifferent universe. Instead, we are intimately connected to a vast, ancient lineage of intelligence that has unfolded on this very planet, and perhaps across the cosmos. Our individual consciousness, our collective unconscious, our deepest intuitions and creative impulses, these might be echoes from the planetary mind, fragments of a larger, interconnected awareness that has observed, learned, and evolved over billions of years. The search for meaning, the yearning for connection, the desire to understand our place in the grand scheme of things, might be an inherited imperative, a subconscious drive to awaken to our true cosmic heritage. The concept of cosmic evolution takes on a new, more profound meaning. It suggests that the universe is not just expanding physically, but evolving consciously, with each intelligent civilization contributing its unique experiences and wisdom to a growing, interconnected web of being. The great filter then becomes a threshold of transformation, a crucible that tests the capacity of intelligence to transcend its physical limitations and integrate into this higher cosmic order. Those who fail leave behind physical traces of their struggle. Those who succeed become part of the silent, pervasive consciousness that guides the unfolding of new realities. Ultimately, the journey into the Silurian hypothesis is an invitation to shed our anthropocentric arrogance and embrace a cosmic humility. It asks us to consider that the answers to the universe's greatest mysteries are not always found by looking outward, but sometimes by looking inward, into the hidden depths of our own planet and into the unexplored frontiers of our own consciousness. The Earth, our home, is not just a rock floating in space. It is a living archive, a sentient mentor, a silent witness to a grand, cyclical drama that has played out countless times before our arrival. The choice, then, is ours. Will we continue to search for alien life in the distant stars, oblivious to the ancient echoes beneath our feet? Or will we awaken to the profound truth that we are not alone, that we are part of a continuous, intelligent lineage on this very planet, and that our future is inextricably linked to the wisdom of its past? The whispers of deep time are growing louder, inviting us to listen, to learn, and to consciously participate in the unfolding of a cosmos far more alive, far more intelligent, and far more intimately connected than we ever dared to imagine. The universe is not waiting for us to find it, it is waiting for us to remember it.